Hi, this is Dr. Nikki, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm talking about Chapter 2 of my new book, Math Workshop in Action. And Chapter 2 is Living and Learning in a Mathematically Rich Space. I wrote this chapter because I think it's really important. And I started it out with a quote that said, "A glance around the room tells how important math is." Because I go in classrooms around the country, and sometimes there's not very much math, or the math that there is, it's put away. Sometimes the stuff is still in plastic, and it's the end of the year. And so we need classrooms that pop with math. We need classrooms that say, yes, we are mathematicians. We value math. We do math. That's what your classroom should really say, is we do math in here, right? And we do it lots of different ways, and we think, and we sometimes make mistakes, and we get up and we try again, and we double check our work. And your classroom should speak that when someone walks in. So you need things, you need toolkits. Your classroom is your first toolkit. You need anchor charts. You need things that kids can walk on. And so in this chapter, I kind of just go through that, talking about what should your environment look like. The different areas in your classroom that you'll have your whole group space, you'll have your workstations. Now, I really think workstations for the most part should be portable, so kids can take them and put them where they need them to go. And then I talk about the daily schedule. I talk about the conference table that the teacher's going to sit at. Kids should know how to read the schedule. There's no one right way to do a schedule, but it should be something that kids can look at, interpret, and know what to do. I talk about the importance of class clocks by grade level. What are they going to have? What are they going to say? What are they going to look like? Class clocks should be benchmarked. From first grade, you start benchmarking, o'clock and half past. And then second grade, you start benchmarking by the 5-minute increments. You really want that language up there because kids have trouble navigating the language of math and time. And so you want resources that help kids to do that. Remember that anything that you put up in your classroom should really be a resource for kids to learn the math as they're doing the math. I also talk about word walls because I think word walls are super important, and I see really bad word walls sometimes. Sometimes people have really great word walls. A word wall should be something that helps kids, not just something that's up so your administrator leaves you alone, but something that actually helps kids learn the words. It should be illustrated. It should have, the definition or some sort of way that kids can explain what it is. I think kids should use those words in lots of different ways throughout the unit of study. They should act the words out. They should play concentration and bingo and tic-tac-toe and all kinds of things with those words. Those words are really important, and they should be living in your classroom, right? And so I talk a lot about that. I give a lot of examples of how to do that. And then I go on. One really good place to get word walls is Granite Schools. If you go to Granite Schools Math Vocabulary, great place to get word walls. Also, Virginia also has some really good word walls up, and they're free. I think a good word wall is a done word wall that's free and illustrated. And then the manipulatives. You should have toolkits. You should have toolkits in your guided math area because the kids are going to need them. But you should also have a place for toolkits, or the kids can have their own individual toolkits, because you want kids to have tools when they're solving problems. They should have toolkits that they can revert to. One of the things I've been thinking about lately is having kind of topic-specific toolkits. So if I'm teaching division, I have a toolkit that's specifically for division. Or if we're teaching fractions, we have a toolkit that's specifically for fractions. So thinking about toolkits in that way is something that I'm shifting to. And then you want a math library. There are so many good math books out there. I'm encouraging everybody, invest in a math library. We have all those books. Invest in a math library. Have a math library that kids can go to and learn about topics and reread and do activities around the books. I encourage people to really do that. And then think about your anchor charts. Anchor charts are really important. Anchor charts teach, right? Anchor charts are another teacher in the classroom if used correctly. They should be created with the kids. No offense to Schaefer, right? Francis Schaefer, who makes all those charts and everything. His charts are really good, but you need to make your own. Make your own, hang them up, make it with the kids. And there's different kinds of strategy charts and different kinds of concept charts and social skill charts. And I talk about that all in the book. I think it's really important that you have those anchor charts. One of the things I've been telling people lately is make that anchor chart and put a QR code on it, especially the ones that are about strategies, so that you take a picture of it and send it home, and then your parents can look up the strategies that you're teaching your children to do math. Because kids get home and they forget what they're supposed to be doing. And then think about how you store those anchor charts. That's just as important. I talk a lot about that in the book, because anchor chart storage, you don't want those charts just to kind of go by the wayside. You want those kids to be able to refer to those anchor charts throughout the year, but they have to be stored in some sort of reasonable way, like a binder or something. And then I always say you should have an I can wall. So an I can wall has the I can statements for your unit of study up. Or it could be an I am learning to wall. Same thing, just the language. Some people say instead of saying I can, you should say I am learning to. So that's just a little bit about creating a mathematically rich environment. Thank you for joining me today, and happy mathing.